last but not least, the Dallas Fuel versus the Vancouver Titans. Now,
have a quick look at our map set to see what our first map is going to be. Colosseo, Lemon, is an interesting one. New Queen Street was where Vancouver Titans looked to their absolute best.
Fearless might not have any places to hide, but Shockwave maybe should have hid because Gorilla locks with a headshot. And with that pick, Dallas Fuel gets so aggressive.
By the Dallas Fuel, we instantly picked off Shockwave, got rid of a long-range DPS of the Ash, but in the end, it didn't really matter. Matrix.
Good dodge. Oh, the sleep! Enforcement, so Fuel don't get too much of a push, but this fight is over, and already, Fearless is looking much better on the Hammond, more survivability than a Winston.
Wants to nano Gurio during that ultimate, which he does.
Just even an enhanced brawl, but...
And this could actually be really useful for trying to keep Vancouver Titans away from contesting. Aspire still has a Pulse Bomb to work with here, and there's nothing to really counter it apart from a sound barrier, and that's a risky cast to try.
If Aspire can even stick it. But she had some actually pretty good stats and comparable to Sparkle as he approaches. He recalls before the sleep that Fielder threw out, and Fielder's won. But the Vancouver Titans maybe want to realize this and take up more space. This is the passive playstyle of False playing in again. You have the Flux, you can initiate, and there he is. He pulls the trigger on it. The bomb from Shockwave is helping out too. Fuel have only lost one. Fielder's stunned up. False can finish this, but... Okay, Fielder almost got away with it. Thank God for the Transcendence of Aztec to help Vancouver just take a very aggressive and enhanced push that we were expecting them to take.
This damage more and more closer and closer towards that checkpoint here. Vancouver, goodbye Korea.
And is that just him not being aware? Like Vancouver just taking this very forward push and using the middle of the map to get into angles I don't think Dallas Fuel were expecting. Aspire's in the back line, he's got a pulse, but he's shooting tanks right now and he gets low. He has to fade into the shadows. Grillo just jumps into the loving arms of Aztec's orbs. So Fuel have lost a lot of members through this engage and are left with nothing, and we're not able to take the lead back from Vancouver.
And so Vancouver, they don't have to invest too much to survive this.
Eventually Vancouver Titans overwhelmed the front line. They had access to the supports. And Gurio and Chio are picked, and Vancouver want to maximize the lead that they have. Pressure and do damage, but heal and keep the Fearless witch string going at this point. Fearless gets low, and that's just more generation for Chio getting barrier next fight. Oh, Aspire can make a big difference if he wins the duel, but finds Fielder, wants to force out the fade, so he does. Chio got his barrier canceled! Fuel, they needed this for survivability! Fearless is chunked down! Fielder not able to keep up with all of the damage! Fuel just zoning themselves away from the Ant Matrix. There's the engage from False. He'll get Fielder, and that should guarantee the kill. Fielder's 1 HP, and he fades away. False tunneled on the wrong target, but still without Gurio. Do Dallas Fuel have the damage? It's Shockwave's bomb that's making more of a splash, and Fuel have fumbled this fight. They only have 2 people left, or actually 3 people left now too. It's Gurio and Fielder. As Titans slowly but surely start to back away, but False is actually holding his ground. Well, and Fearless is about to have mines. He's gonna flush them out one way or another. And Titans gave up this fight, and Fuel have a chance to win. Oh, Aspires to be big with a pulse, and he gets nothing. He's sniped down, and Fuel get to the finish line. Vancouver were dominating this map, and Fuel just turned it around at the last minute of play. A pretty good map for him, Dorado.
And this is a remarkable turnaround of strategic tomfoolery.
It's much better for this point A push to have some kind of hero that can access the high ground. I think Vancouver going to have limited options on what flanks they can take with Mirror. Yeah, perhaps just having more heals, especially since the recent patch. He has burst heals now, especially even more if a target is low. And that's Vancouver waiting for Fuel to approach and then getting and sniping them back. But Sparkle has got 2 kills. He's killed the support single-handedly, even through the immortality. Fearless didn't even commit, but saw Mirror, and now the Transcendence. This is surely going to put fear into Fearless, but he backs away. He had the Primal Rage, but didn't want to chance it. He's going to wait for the Transcendence to go away and hope that Fuel can fight back now that resources are equal. There's the counter dive from Fearless, already on Skyripa, who's used a nade on himself, trying to keep himself alive for as long as possible.
What a sleep.
And it's working out because Titans, their counter engage is getting more value quicker. Look how Fuel, they took so much time to kill Skyripa. They've even committed a Primal to do anything at all. Just a few more meters away, but Titans, it ain't looking pretty if it took your entire time bank to go through point A, which I would consider one of the strongest parts for Doomfist to dominate. But because Dallas Fuel limited his choice options on how many angles Mirror could take, you saw that Mirror just struggled to initiate any fight, and it came down to kind of DPS picks. As you were pointing out his deaths, and Fearless ain't looking too good. He was in a tiny building, no place to jump out at, and no matter how much nano fun you're gonna have, if 5 people are looking at you, Fearless is gonna die eventually. Oh, so there's the fight, and Shockwave is above, laying down the damage. Mirror is desperate for help, and Aztec is there with the Transcendence. Just 50 meters to go, and Titans want to keep up this momentum. They're gonna invest even more ultimates. The Meteor strike and more, and there's only 2 left of the fuel, so this fight is more than done. Titans with a flawless fight win for Point B. Drop down from the high ground, the Pulse, a great stake on the Mirror. Now Fuel, what did they do about the remnants of Titans? Aspire is sticking around, but he's got to deal with not only Sparkle, but Chio booping him around. As Sparkle heads for the backline and ignores Aspire, goes after Aztec, and Fuel gets to continue to snipe at range with Grillo. Dallas Fuel are taking such an early engagement. They force the Nano out of Skyripper to save Aztec, and they're not even successful with that mission. Skyripper is alone by himself. Initiating! They're always doing it! They're getting nanoed, and Fearless jumps in and is clapping these supports left and right, and Titans are trying to do the same thing, but they're just always sitting there, and Titans might have a breath of fresh air, but they're currently lacking because they're no longer breathing. Fuel have held them at sea.
The Shockwave swapped over to the Sojourn, anticipating that, hey...
If you have the Nano your Zen to stay alive and he's still dying, you're just wasting ults, and it's just not favoring the Titan. You'll get around that, and they've already found the supports. The Ana and Skyrip and Aztec are just dead. I'm wondering, should there be more of a solution to the Winston than just an Ana sleep?
More pressure as Aspire can freely try and move through them.
Skyrip is just dead, and so is Aztec. In the backline, that's a flawless fight for Fuel. And with 2.5 minutes to spare, this is 2.5 minutes faster than Titans, who did this in OT.
On ultimates, and Mirror's had to disengage again.
At least you have something to save yourself from the dive, a Transcendence, but Fearless has been not only nanoed, but sound barrier. Dallas Fuel are gonna be here a while. Skyripper, I'm surprised Fearless didn't commit, but he took so much damage from multiple angles. Fearless is not used to being challenged, and that was due to Aspire maybe getting nanoed at that point, and Titans finally were able to kill Fearless.
That's their ultimates to win the fight.
He doesn't know. He got him with a lot of stickies, but not enough for the focusing beam to come out. It's still working out for the Titans. The Titans have a ton of ults, and it has to come out now. The Nano onto Aspire. He has to pop off, and so he does! The pulse bomb onto the supports before Fielder could unleash the Nano. What a massive play from the DPS of Titans. So, forced out by Fielder's dive on the Aztec. There's the copy onto Ana. See if he get a sleep or an anti on the Fearless. And Aspire delivers again a double pulse bomb. Titans are being kept alive by the skin of Aspire's team.
And oh my goodness, Aspire sticking Chio midway through the cast of a sound barrier. Chio had such a poor decision there to try and out-time that barrier.
There's the Nano. Oh, but he's anti. He didn't want to use it on Tamir, wanted to wait to see if he would get out. And you have to use it on someone, and Shockwave is sleeping, so that didn't work out either. Titans are going to have to play from behind, and they need to go to almost the end of the map to get to the box of victory. And it's 5-on-3 for the Fuel. Defense reigning strong. There's the Primal tossing up the backline. Titans don't have any healing. It's up to damage. Mirror has the Meteor Strike. He can buy time. You need Aspire to have presence on the cart too. And Dallas Fuel are just going to have Point B and have 1.5 minutes for the box of victory.
Oh, Skyripper had it right there, the ability to keep Mirror alive. They were strong enough to have the win, Lemon, but too weak to take it.
Out of walls, he can get the stun. Sparkle is low. Aspire gets the chase down, misses the pulse, but Fuel are giving up space.
All in there for the Vancouver Titans, but it was entirely necessary. Now it's down to one fight. Dallas Fuel in an uncomfortable position.
Sparkle is on the card, started the overtime. Dallas Fuel hit by an anti. Sparkle can't afford to die here. Shockwave on an off angle, charging up anywhere he can, providing support to Mirror. Mirror gets the Nano. He's in the back line. It forces out the sound barrier of Chio. Dallas Fuel trying to counter-rotate away from the Fuel. Grillo has been isolated. He swoops back into his team, but into death. Fearless claims the lives of the back line yet again, and Sparkle can live through the fight for the first time in Toronto. And through the last seconds, Fuel get to the box of victory and go to series point.
they may be able to clinch out a map win here. Of the kickoff clash when it is the Midseason Madness, with a lot of teams going in opposite directions towards the Doom, towards the Sigma, and in some cases the Wrecking Ball as well. But Fearless here
even get in range of the knockback, because Fearless is not trying to hug Aztec. He stays far away enough for his Tesla to get range.
Making Dallas Fuel's dives incredibly deadly.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty deadly. Sojourn's pretty good at the game, huh? And we have to give attention to Gurio, and it's Aztec throwing orbs Gurio's way, and Aztec has exposed themselves. He tried to kick Fearless away, but it's too little too late. Having to play from behind. Skyripper has Nano and thinks it's winnable. Gives it to Mir, who has a Meteor Strike. He can play aggressive, and working with Aspire, he's going to finish off Fearless. So a great turnaround for Titans, despite starting off the fight 4v5.
Yeah, sacrifices were made there, but Mirror and Aspire survived, as too did the Nano onto
Their
Mirror.
front line and actually get past it. The sound barrier force from Chio. Fearless has been nanoed. He has a primal rage too. He's gonna try and help his own back line and kills Mirror before he could even touch Fielder. So Dallas Fuel, the synergy's on fire today. Was just able to make so many plays once he entered Castle, and Sparkle hits him with the drive-by. Great pulse bomb onto Shockwave. Dallas Fuel to 5v4. Aspire with the answer and a double kill. Aspire does it again. His back is just broken with how many plays he makes for Titans. But Fuel, they try to extend and get access to the supports, and they fall, and Titans are able to break out a spot to kill him. And now he's trying to swoop away because Mirror has his number. And look at that Fearless peel again. Fearless isn't trying to counter dive. He's trying to protect his team and work together on targets instead of split. Stack's in trouble yet again, and he's split away from Skyripper. Fearless placed a bubble right in between. Skyripper couldn't heal Aztec, and he's 94 on Transcendence, so couldn't save himself either. Fuel, though, they lost Gurio yet again at the start of these fights. He's always the target.
Relative safety here for Skyripper. Oh, that's a lovely little bit of Doom Tech there from Mirror. The cancel on the seismic slam means that Fearless goes low, but it's still within the zone of influence of the Lucio, so there's plenty of healing to be had as Aspire lies in wait on the bomb.
But the barrier from Chio, not enough to save Fielder. Moment, great patience from Aspire. I guess Fielder never got the barrier. So kind of a disconnect for the Fuel. A rare moment, and Gurio even gets a snipe on the Skyripper. Surely this is a great fight for Fuel. 45 seconds left for Titans as they somehow stabilize. Even though Fuel had the better position on the high ground, Titans knew how to react and how to do better. And look what happens when Titans get to engage on their terms. He has the pulse bomb, but that's Sparkle with the pulse bomb onto his supports, and Fearless just squashed Skyripper like a bug. Overtime about to go away, and the Titans will not be capping B.
They decided that they'd give Shockwave a go for 1 versus 5.
Series. There's also a spatial disconnect between Skyripper and Aztec.
Dallas Fuel moved to try and claim some space here, but have to deal with Aspire in the backline, Lemon.
Trying to get the trades. They were missing some members, so Fuel had to make the most out of that Mirror sleep situation, and the damage did not come quick enough. Mirror is woke, and so are the Titans defense. The Titans have been able to capitalize on. Aspire has a pulse. Does he want to just like double blink in and just go for it? No immortality. He's gonna be smarter than that though. Just focus on the damage. Caught some strays though from Sparkle, 4-on-4, and making a man advantage for the Fuel, who advanced towards the point and took half their time to get there.
It's a spaghetti fest right now. It's like an earthquake in an Italian restaurant. Guess who's back? It's Mirror. Skyripper too. An anti onto Fearless, slept within the air. Execution is probably off the cards. There's not enough burst to do so, and Sparkle's back as well. But all of that started with rather confusing Transcendence from Aztec, and then Aspire managing to hit a stick onto Fielder. Did Chio get around behind them or something? I don't understand why Aztec would leave the high ground there. At all times.
Mirror's already bullied his way through the right doorway, and Aspire's right by his side. The Fearless bubble has been laid, and Fuel's supports are okay for now, as the Titans hope to capitalize with their supports.
Forthcoming one. A nanoed Winston to try and tear through the Titans, and Fearless on the car.
Oh my god. I almost had organs fall out of me from just how I almost just had a heart attack. Fuel are just going to continue to dominate now that there's no healing left for Titans, and Dallas, who are just playing with their food, eventually are going to push this one in.
And sure, Vancouver Titans had these splashes of brilliance, but when it came to the overall strategy, Dallas Fuel simply had them beat.